You know, I've built some pretty cool looking things in this world, but you know what's not one of them? A house. Like, seriously, I have nowhere to live. Now, believe me or not if you don't want to, but I happen to be one of the best builders you've ever seen. I mean, just look at this village that I beautifully constructed. So let's go over the plan, alright? We're gonna build a super duper looking volcano, mountain, connect it so that it becomes part of the earth. Then, oops, spoiler, we're gonna make it spread throughout here. And yes, I already built it. Okay, I'm sorry, the recording messed up. Yeah, I've already been at work. My bad. But you know, anyways, now that we have this super weird looking thing, we should probably put something on it. That seems like a good thing to do. Alright, this is what we're rolling with to start, but we gotta get some roof going. That looks pretty good, right? 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 Now we just gotta do it all the way around. Yeah, that looks so good. Alright, well now that we're done with the entire front floor roof, we just need to stack basically this on top of each other 3 more times. You know, I don't think it looks that bad. Now we just gotta work on this dreadful interior. Alright, so on the first floor, as you can see, we got our storage setup going. Nice and easy, got all our stuff sorted. And on the top, we're gonna have the enchantment set up. Alright, well that's the most important part of this project, I suppose, complete. Now all we gotta do is put that, copy and paste it on that. Right. Let's get to work. Alright, the next thing I want to do is I want to get started on moving the farm kind of here and then enclosing it. And then I want it to be kind of connected to some sort of structure right over there, which I will put cows and sheep inside. Alright, so we got the wall shape looking complete. And honestly, I don't think it looks too bad. Now all we got to do is just, now we just got to fill it in. Alright, well that looks kind of weird now, but I promise you it'll look much better later. Alright, so next up, I think we gotta make some animal pens because we got some very lonely looking cows and sheep and dogs over here. I also want to get a horse. Now here's the deal, I think for these ones, I kind of want to transition that wall into like kind of primarily tough bricks. And then we have a lot of leftover blackstone from the wall, so I think we use the blackstone to make the roof, and it's like tough with blackstone. I think that'll look real good. That should be enough. Alright, what do we think? This is what we got. We ended up going with granite on the roofs, and inside we have our dogs, obviously, as you can see. We have Jeffrey, and we have Sean, and we have kind of a nice little, you know, entrance way to the, oops, that is not, wait, no, that is right. Yeah. Anyways, we still have to do the house for those dude bros over there. Instead of like a whole nother building, I'm thinking we just make like sections with roofs here that look kind of nice. One for sheep, one for cows, one for chicken, and then one for pigs. Well, there we go. That's much better. Alright, so the next thing I want to get working on is the nether portal. And I think before we actually start working on it, we kind of have to make it into the shape and size that we want to build around it from. Alright, now that we have the shape and size of the portal, I think we're going to make it kind of like a Japanese gate. Primarily out of birch. I think I want it to kind of match our house. So let's see what we can do. Alright, so this is kind of what we got rolling so far, and I think it is quite important when building to kind of start simple, you know, get kind of like a base going, and then more ideas pop into your head, you know, because you want to make every build that you make in your hardcore world as great as you can be. Alright, so we got the wood, the birch pillars down, and I think I kind of want to make something that looks like this on the right, but just like with a nether portal like inside of it. Okay, so this is what we got so far, and I think it actually looks pretty good. However, I think we do need to do something about these sides. You know what? It's quite simple, but I think it does the job. So overall, incomplete. this is what we got rolling for the nether portal. I think it looks pretty good in my opinion. The last thing I need to do in this video is make it actually look like a nice, decent town. Right now it just looks like a bunch of different, builds that are just there. But I think I'm going to make some pathways out of andesite and stone, so it kind of all connects up. Well, for some reason I decided to change my mind and go with diorite. But hey, I think it looks pretty good. Now I think we're going to just start working on some streetlights. Alright, well we added another Japanese looking gate. So, might as well just go make another one over there. So I made another one over here, but I just feel like it's too much blackstone. I can barely see it through. I can barely see the mountain through this. So you know what? I think we're just going to tear both of them down and rebuild it entirely out of stone bricks. That looks a trillion times better, bro. At this point, I'm getting kind of tired of building. So we're going to conclude building session number 1 there. Make sure you guys like and subscribe the video. Send it to your grandfather. See you guys later.